Play my position, what is given with no concerns. Set it off. Top of the morning, I'm gonna set it off. You living boring, I'm gonna set it off. Shooting, I'm scoring, I'm gonna set it off. Like soldiers torn, I'm gonna set it off. Son of God, no, I am not son of man. Blessings keep falling, the fingers keep coming in. I got you, but just know I'm texting like Uncle Sam. Left to the bank, you know that I'm coming in. We don't do it for the bands though, we don't do it for the clout. Legacy on the line, so I'm moving in and out. Seen good ones turn top dog, greedy ones get knocked off. I keep looking at the bench like I could never not ball. Coach keep me in the game, Curry deadly with the range. I keep looking in the mirror like, who is he? I'm insane. Who am I? He insane. Guess I ain't the one to blame. What's done is done, won't change. Time to live up to my name. Real will be real, fake gon' fall. Took time with this here, I'm made for a while. No sleeping, no, I won't fall. No sleeping, no, I want it all. I keep God first. I see evil, when I converse. Now today say, this how God works. Play my position, what is given with no concerns. Set it off. Top of the morning, I'm gonna set it off. You living boring, I'm gonna set it off. Shooting, I'm scoring, I'm gonna set it off. Like soldiers torn, I'm gonna set it off. Told my baby, meet me at the bank. Told my mama, I'ma break the trend. Locked in, I'ma change the weight. Working for him, baby's kids. Hard times couldn't make the rent. Working hard, couldn't save a cent. Lonely nights, just me and God. Swear to him, always made the ends. Grab a paper, see the news. Hate coming by the tools. Walk a mile in my shoes. Something you can never do. Got my back against the wall. Bet I always pull through. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Sending shots, I block 'em. Superman with the moves. Rock 'em, sock 'em, drop, bop 'em. Play to win, never lose. Run it up, I top 'em. Plate full, belly too. I hip hop or pop 'em. Anything I could do. The real won't be real, fake gon' fall. Took time with this here, I'm made for a while. No sleeping, no, I won't fall. No sleeping, no, I want it all. I keep God first. I see evil, when I converse. Now today say, this how God works. Play my position, what is given with no concerns. Set it off. Top of the morning, I'm gonna set it off. You living boring, I'm gonna set it off. Shooting, I'm scoring, I'm gonna set it off. Like soldiers torn, I'm gonna set it off.
I can hurt you like you hurt me too, me too. We're letting go, riv it up, we're letting go, riv it up. I can hurt you like you hurt me too, me too. We're letting go, riv it up, we're letting go, riv it up. like you hurt me too, me too.
Bula everybody. Bula emosi, bula kerisi, bula Taura Kiorana from New Zealand. Bula Kelly, Mac. Bula Re, Bula Re. Bula Louis. Thank you for everybody that's joining us from YouTube and Facebook. I know it's a late start for us. And yeah, we hope to.
We on?
Yeah, we on.
All
That's your
right.
mic.
Welcome everybody. Okay. Well, thank you guys for joining. Sorry I'm late. I just got back from Bua. And man, I'm freaking fired up. Yeah. So, why am I fired up?
Yeah.
So the Fiji government recently just promoted or released this thing called, I don't know if you guys can see it. Can you see it here?
Business Now.
Business Now Fiji,
E-services.
right? E-services.
Oh.
So, for those of you who don't know, we have a small coffee shop in Senganga. And for the last few months, we've been trying to get this process completed. So, Business Now Fiji, this portal is supposed to be a way for businesses in Fiji to be able to consolidate all necessary applications to operate a business into one platform so that you can do it all in one place. So you can apply, upload the necessary documents, have the Fiji Fire Authority, what is it called? NFA, National Fire Authority, have OH&S, all come and do the inspections and pay online, all this stuff. So before you do one step, you have to do the previous one as a prerequisite to doing the next one. So, like before I could do my NFA application, I had to complete the OHS. And then before I can do the health inspector application, I had to complete the previous two. But it's so dumb, and that's one of the reasons that I was late tonight, was because for whatever reason, even though we do all these applications online now, you can't do it any other way now, we still need to go back to the health inspector and submit. We have to print off the receipts, like proof of payment. Yeah, I need this tonight.
Am I missing? Oh, yeah, okay. Bula to you too.
Yeah. Bula to you and bula to everybody. You still have to do all of this stuff online. And before you used to just go and do it, and then probably we had to take all of our certificates and everything and submit them so that they could be approved. But you'd think now it's online, you would just have to do the online part and then not have to do the printing part. But no, now we have to do it online, and we still have to print off receipts and print off all the certificates and then take them into the health inspector and have them in some sort of folder. So, okay, well, can we just email them to you so you can print them off and put them in? No, you have to print them off. So it's like, why the heck are we doing this online digital platform if we still have to go through the whole process of printing everything out? It's just like, what was supposed to make it easier is actually now just a double job, because we have to go through this silly platform, which is actually a great platform, but then we have to double it up with like having to print everything off and put it into a package and submit it to the health inspector. So there needs to be a way for the authorities at B who exist somewhere to be able to go log into the back end with some sort of overarching login and see the businesses that are in their districts and be able to see if they've done their NFA application, if they've done their OH&S, if they have a TIN number, if they're registered with FIRCA, if they have a business registration. We have all that stuff, but we have to double it up and then go print it all and then take it in anyways after going through this whole platform. It's just like, I don't know. I was just so fired up because I'm like, this is just, it's taking my staff, because I'm trying to get the girls at the coffee shop to be able to do all this themselves. And it's like, what? Why? Why does this thing exist if we still have to go back and do it the old way? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
How would you fix it?
Like, you should just be able to log into the back end and be able to see that, like, yeah, you have your OH&S, yeah, you have your NFA. Because, like, now I have to print all the certificates and print the proof that I paid for them. But it's like, I can't do the NFA unless I've first done the OHS. And I can't do this, I can't do the health and safety unless I've previously done the NFA. So it's like, one is a prerequisite for the other, so online. So I can't actually click on one until the processing is completed for the one previous. So it's like, I can't possibly be on the last step without having completed all the previous steps.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So it's like, they should just be able to be like, oh yeah, green, because I can see it. Green, 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 NFA green, OH&S green, business registration green. It's all green, which means I've obviously paid for it. It's like, what's the use of it? What's the use of going digital if we're actually not going to go digital? Then you're going to make me print everything off and take it in so that you can put it in our folder. Right?
They should have a digital folder by now.
Well, just be online, because it is online. So why can't you see it online?
Yeah.
It's just like, Fiji just makes me shake my freaking head sometimes. Like, if you're going to try to make it easy, then just make it easy. Because the whole purpose of these authorities is that, like, we meet the requirements so that we don't have to get punished. But then, like, we meet the requirements, and then they're like, well, to avoid getting punished, you have to prove that you've met the requirements. It's like, but, like, you can see that we've met the requirements, because I can't be on this step without having done everything to get to here. It's just super redundant. And it's like, people they have this weird fear to, like, move on without having, like, a physical copy. It's like, if we're going to go digital, then let's go digital, because you're not helping us business owners. You're not helping people who are trying to, like me, who are trying to delegate stuff to their staff to be able to, like, empower them to run the business. And it's like, no, you still have to get your boss, you have to get his login so that you can go in and, like, do everything. It's like, holy crap, man. Freaking gets me so riled up. And it's like, yeah, why? Why am I doing all this then? Just leave me alone.
Bula everybody, bula di, bula tavare, bula lolo, watching from
Boo everybody.
Australia.
Sorry, we're coming in hot. I was just annoyed because it was making me late, and it's annoying my staff, and they're going out of their way in their own free time to run around and do all this stuff, which I'm super appreciative of. But, like, I'm appreciative of that, and then you continue to waste their time and mine by making us do all this extra stuff that should already be online. Oh, this goes very well into the next, the first question.
How did you find out
About,
that?
well, because the health inspector told us about this new platform. And so she was like, you have to go onto e-services. It's like,
Oh, you finally met them today?
ooh,
The public health guys?
no.
No?
Oh yeah, there were some public health people that came by a few months ago who weren't the health inspector, but are in charge of anywhere that serves food or something like that.
Like I said,
It just doesn't make sense. It just is very unclear, and it's like, the digital platform is actually very clear, and it works, and you can pay on there and everything. But then, I just don't want to have to go through and print it all off for you. Like, you're the ones who run this service, so go in and see that I've done it. Like, now I have to go back and find payment receipts. It's just like, it's like if you ordered something on Amazon or eBay or VTCart and you paid with M-Pesa or whatever, MyCash, or with your MasterCard, and then people were like, okay, we'll prove that you've paid for it before we ship it. And it's like, well, like, I literally just paid for it. Like, well, email us a receipt of your payment. Like, I couldn't have got to this step without, like you said, you're going to ship it. It's just so redundant. Question from 1.7
Should have one of the ministers. Yeah, left field, Bula. I send this live stream to one of the ministers. Oh.
Yeah, guys, you can take them too. I don't even know who to take. I don't deal with ministers because they tend to be pretty
Unreliable.
unhelpful, to say it kindly. And nobody ever comes to me. They will come one day. But, yeah. They do their own thing, or they come for their photo ops and then they leave and they don't really... There just seems to be no thought out implementation of new services like this. Like, they should be going to trainings where they have people teaching them how to like check the back ends of these portals for themselves. Because like it just makes it very difficult for us to operate our businesses when we got to spend half our time running around doing things that like are already done. Like, I don't mind having to do this stuff because like I'm used to running a business in a democracy, right? Where you need to have a business license, where you need to be registered with your local tax agency or your federal tax agency. Like, this is all normal. But like, then you make me go through and prove it to you when it's like I couldn't be on this step in the process without having been registered already. It's just like, yeah.
Bula Bula again, everybody's joining in. Fair Grove Freestyles.
Bula, everybody.
Bula.
Bula.
Bula from Ravi Ravi and Visaru. Bula Sirema, Bula Sia.
Bula, everybody. What do you do when you're...
Pon is asking, is that is emailing is an option or is it just that?
Well, our health inspector said that her printer isn't working. So it's like, okay, we're doing this digital thing, so you shouldn't need it printed anyways. But okay, if you need it printed out for your physical file folder that you probably just have in a stack on your desk, you probably don't even have a good way of organizing it in a filing cabinet. Like, you probably don't have a filing cabinet that has a drawer that's like Sangaga businesses. And then in one section of that drawer, you have all of like the food and beverage or catering services in like the back. And then you have like all of your like retail shops and hardware stores in one section. And then like, you know, all of your market vendors and people in another section. No, it's just gonna bring you this package and it's gonna sit in a freaking huge stack on your desk. And then not only you don't just need me to, like, you don't just need the printed copy, you actually need me to print it. So like, if I'm like, okay, I'll email it to you, then you can print it out for yourself. Well, I can't. You have to print it. It's like, okay, I have a printer and that's all good. So I can do it, but like lots of people have to go to Lambasa and have to go and print stuff out. Like, I'm not thinking just about me. It's actually not difficult. And this last step, this $400 that we had, I had to pay $400 for this health
So did
license.
they clarify it to you? Like the breakdowns and why is it that expensive?
Well, we figured out that it was a similar price last year. We were gonna pay $500, and then but it was $400 last year. So I asked like my girls, I was like, "Why are we paying $500? How has it gone up by 25% in 1 year, like from $400 to $500?
Yeah.
Why? What was with that 125% increase in price? Like, oh yeah." So they went and checked. They're like, "Oh no, actually she was wrong. It's $400, not $500." So I'm like, okay, like. Well, that's good, I guess, but it's still like I'm paying $400 annually, and then I have to go and print it off, not to display in my shop, but to give it to you. When you're the authorizing body, once it's paid, shouldn't you be able to see that I have paid it? Right? Like, it's like if somebody submits a payment, it gives you a payment, and they put all the correct narration, and you see the thing come to your bank account, and it says the invoice that it's been, like, invoice number such and such, and the total matches what they owed you, and it's like, okay, invoice 1,022, $1,780. that's what they owe me. I can figure that out. I don't need you to send. But then they're like, okay, but now send us printed proof that like you paid it. It's like, just like think about it logically. It's just like business is already difficult enough without them implementing a new system and then not actually implementing it, but making us do the old system and the new system.
New system. Yeah. Like
It's
we're
like
wanting
just
to
pick-
move forward and then
Yeah.
taking 2 steps back again.
Well, we're not moving forward. We're just like sidestepping a little bit
Yeah.
and then like running backwards.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
It's just extra work. I think it's just
It's extra work. And like if you, like luckily for me, like I know how to use technology fairly well, and so this all came up, and I was supposed to come home tonight and do this, but I was thinking about how I needed to do this live with you guys because I wanted to hang out. And then I was like, you know what? Instead of going home and doing this when I get home, I'm just going to do this with Va now at the coffee shop on my phone. So I logged in. I keep all of my passwords in a very safe place, and I searched the name of like Business Digital Fiji or whatever.
right.
Found my username that I had saved, the password, have my entity numbers for all my different businesses aligned. So I just entered all that information in, went in, did the whole application there, and got it out of the way. But now I need to come home, fire up the generator, turn on the printer, print it out, take it back to Va. Then Va has to take it into the health inspector. And it's like, it's been paid.
Yeah.
$400.
Just to show them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just annoying when you have to spend lots of money and then they still can't do their end of the job.
Oh, but you have to print it out for us.
You have to print
Sorry,
it out.
our printer's not working right now at the moment.
So then, like, if your printer's not working, then I'll email it to you. Once you get your printer working, then you print it off yourself,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Don't make me go and do the job that you're supposed to be able to do. It's freaking stupid, man.
I
And, like,
think
so
that's
the reason why I'm complaining is
the
bec-
smartest way is just to email it to them and let them do
And then,
it.
then you
Yeah.
print it.
It's like, oh, okay, you've paid for it. Here's the receipt. I was like, oh, okay, actually, yeah, we need a hard copy of your receipt.
But it's not even that. Once I paid for it, then it goes green on this thing. It's
Exactly,
it's like-
exactly.
it says payment processing. I paid for it.
Yeah.
Then the next thing it said was pending processing of application. Like it changed from, it was waiting for payment, and now it's just pending the processing of it. So it's like, it's changed. It saw that I paid,
Right.
so the status of the application changed. But like,
So what's
They-
the point of that? Or is it just for them, for their information, or like,
to print it,
yeah,
I guess
like
so.
to
But
keep
like, they
a-
should be able to see it from the back end of the
yeah,
portal.
that's just dumb.
So the reason I'm complaining is not for me, because like I realize, guys, like I'm very blessed. I have a printer. I have a phone. I can do this stuff. We have an M-Pesa that the girls went and put money on, and like they got it all figured out, got it set up for me, so I was able to execute it in a very short amount of time. But like, there's a lot of people who aren't tech savvy, and now you're going to ask them to do this digital platform, and then still do what we used to do. It just makes it very difficult, very redundant. Yeah.
I think whoever developed that what do you call it, software or is it a site?
Yeah, it's a website.
It's a site. They need to like develop it and like update it.
Yeah, so people, so that the managing or the law enforcing end of the process can actually go into the back end and log in and see the entities that are under your management, like say Sanganga Health Sector, and be like, oh, the Woods Bar and Grill, oh, Fresh Tea and Coffee, oh, Miriam and Sons Diner or whatever it is, like we can see all those things that they've applied or that they haven't applied. But no, we have to go and print it all off and take it in, then go to Mombasa. And, some people have to get on a bus, go to Mombasa, go to the print shop, email the print shop, then pay 50 cents a copy, and come back and go into the health center. Like, it will be very extensive for some of these businesses.
Yeah, left field says
Silly.
they need training on the portal back, and engineer need to make it easier.
Yeah, and like the portal seems really great, honestly, guys. Like it actually, it's very, there's like a drop down like you can very clearly see the order of things that need to be done, and like it says, okay, OHS prerequisite NFA application. So then you can go apply in your NFA, which is above. Once it's green, then the next one opens up. So it's actually really decent software, in my opinion. It's just like the rollout
Right.
is silly.
Right.
And this is similar to, like, apparently World Bank has a bunch of money for the North development or something. Isn't
Really?
there? Like a World Bank.
Where did you saw that?
level.
For the North?
Yeah, isn't there supposed to be like $200 and something million? World Bank's $400 million boost set to transform Vanuatu. This was in the 21st of September 2024.
Oh, last year.
Last year. In an effort to bring development to where people live, the World Bank is committing $400 million over the next decade through the Navuliku Fiji Tourism Development Program in Vanuatu.
Oh, that's for the yeah. Remember we were talking about
Yeah, well,
Like
speaking at the launch of the program in Sabusau, Rambuka said, who's our prime minister, in the past 18 to 20 months, over 10 companies have invested in projects in Vanuatu. He says more of the government's commitment to creating an investor-friendly environment. Investor-friendly is not this, what we were just talking about. That's not investor-friendly. By developing transparent and consultative policies is crucial, and that includes infrastructure as well as other supporting activities that will significantly boost the economy in Vanuatu. So this program is transparent, but it is super redundant, and it's not boosting the economy. Rambuka says the Northern Division, 63% of the population falls within the productive age range of 15 to 64, ages of 15 to 64, and this demographic represents a tremendous opportunity to harness the abundant natural resources and the people for growth and development. He says the government is committed to transforming Vanuatu into a thriving tourism hub, one that fosters economic growth, creates meaningful employment, and attracts both local and international investment. So the problem with this $400 million is that probably, well, it's okay, like the measure twice, cut once theory. I bet you close to half of this gets spent in consultancy and research and funding, people to go around and do, what do they call it here in Fiji?
Scoping.
Yeah, scoping and like community,
Consultation.
yeah, like community consultations, basically. Yeah, sure. Yeah, awareness. Awareness. We just love that word so much in Fiji. Just awareness. Like we have to do awareness. And so one of the awarenesses I was made aware of the day before this awareness was supposed to take place in Senganga. So random call. Googled, I don't pick up numbers I don't recognize. Googled the number while it was ringing. Some guy who owns a Airbnb of sorts in Suva somewhere. I'm like, oh, this is weird. So, because I could find the number,
Yeah.
I answered the phone. And he was like, hey, I'm coming tomorrow, and we need 6 businesses in the Senganga area who are involved in tourism to meet at the coffee shop, and we're wondering if you guys can prepare refreshments for us. And I'm like, yeah, sure, like we have tea and coffee and pizza and sticky buns. Like, like, well, I was wondering if you could like make like tuna sandwiches and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, if I made tuna sandwiches for a living, then you would ask me to make pizza. It's like, can we just serve pizza? Yeah, okay, we just have pizza. Yeah, that's what I thought. And then he's like, do you think you could get like 6 businesses who like have, that would be affected by tourism, like out to the meeting? I need 6. And I'm like, it's less than 24 hours before this awareness consultancy thing that you want to do. Like, and he said it's for the World Bank thing. And I'm like, you can't be coming out like 24 hours prior and being like, hey guys, we're going to do something.
Okay.
You
Leave
should
everything
show up. Yeah.
that you're doing.
To show up and it's like, oh, we'll pay. I bet you, and he was paying for everything. So the World Bank is paying our coffee shop to invite 6 people at the last minute. And like, trust me, there's not a single business in Sanganga. We're probably the most tourism, fresh tea and coffee, the most tourism focused, or would be the most tourism affected business in the whole town. And so like they don't even understand the basics of this place. The people who are running these consultancy awarenesses things are people who have obviously got the funding
Funding and just
somehow.
looking
So
for
somebody
employees.
knows them and they're like, oh yeah, I
Right.
could use a trip to Vanuatu. I'll go up and have it all paid. And like I'll call them 24 hours before, and then we'll do like some consultancy and ask stupid questions, probably like, you know, in what ways does, you know, effective ecotourism affect your business? You know, the question, just like, yeah, just questions that have nothing to do with Sanganga. Because like, number one, there is no tourism in Sanganga. That's what you guys are, that's what the money is allocated for, is to be given to people to invest in tourism. So don't give it to me and like expect me to invest it, but like you got to invest in the infrastructure of that is the backbone of tourism. So go ahead and build a resort, but like people aren't getting up here unless the government back ends some of these ferry companies with like online booking systems so that people can book from overseas on a boat and travel across, and the departure times are clear, the reporting times are clear, they can pay with a Visa or MasterCard or an American Express from wherever they live in the world, because that's what tourists want. But we're going to run consultant community awarenesses, 24 hours prior. It's like with giving 24 hours prior warning. It's just, the whole thing is effed right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me. Because like if this is the consultancy stage and this is how we're going to run things, it's messed.
Well, yeah, that's,
Right from the
that's the
beginning.
question. Like, how are they, like, are they randomly picking places to
Well,
hold such, like, consultants and awareness?
like,
Because this area, there's not, like you said, yeah, there's no tourism movement that's happening here. Like,
no, like there's no tourism
yeah,
stuff
so
in Sanganga because
they-
like there's no tourism here.
they don't have, like, such database to follow. Like, okay.
It's like going to where I live in Canada and being like, how would the sugar industry, how does the sugar industry affect your farming? It's like, well, there is no sugar that's farmed in Canada. It's too cold. So,
Why?
well, we're going to be spending 400 million on sugar. Okay. Okay. Right? Like, I don't know what to say. Like, you can probably do your own, like, consultancy thing. But, like, it's pretty lazy to, like,
Well, what
call
exactly
other
did
business
they say?
owners,
Like,
huh?
they gave you ideas on, like, what to start here?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
And when they can fund it, or what? Or, like, to book it?
Actually, you know what? I should just call. I wonder if Archie. I wonder if she would pick up the phone right now. I should see if they even showed up right now. 'Cause,
They'd
like,
ask you guys, like, oh, what works here? What could, like, bring tourism here?
yeah,
How can we help you guys?
maybe,
Hmm.
maybe, because
Like, if that's the way of, like, the direction of the conversation, then okay. You guys can throw in ideas.
yeah, there's a lot of money apparently coming to the north. And there's some big projects that are going on right now that I don't know about that would attract a large amount of that kind of funding. But I bet you there's a lot of homework that's needed to be done. Like the World Bank's not just going to give hundreds of millions or tens of millions to anybody, just with with an idea.
But that's a huge money. Like, how did we get it, and how,
400
and why
million?
the North, and how did the North get it? That's like crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see. How did
Well,
Formula
in that huge sum of money, is it gonna be like a 10 to 30 years planning? You know?
Yeah. Let's ask. So the World Bank is an international organization that gives loans and grants to the governments of poorer countries to help them develop. Things like building roads, hospitals, schools, or helping with disaster recovery. It is made up of 5 different institutions, the World Bank. But when people say World Bank, they usually mean the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, the IBRD, and the International Development Association, the IDA. The World Bank is owned by 189 countries, including Fiji, and its main goal is to reduce poverty and boost shared prosperity. So basically it's a big bank that rich countries fund so they can loan money at low or no interest to developing countries like Fiji so that we can recover from disaster or build our infrastructure. So this takes us to the second thing. How did Vanuatu get given $400 million? Apparently, in 2021, the World Bank approved this $400 million loan to Fiji for a project called the Vanuatu Resilience and Livelihoods Program. The main reason was to help make Vanuatu safer and more resilient after Cyclone Winston 2016 and Cyclone Yasa in 2020. After they showed how vulnerable Fiji is to extreme weather. The money was meant to plan town relocation if areas are too dangerous because of roads, floods, cyclones, or rising sea levels, improve roads, bridges, schools, and hospitals, protect coastlines and critical infrastructure, and help local farmers and businesses adapt and grow sustainably. So it was a loan to the Fiji government to develop Vanuatu then, especially towns like Lambasa and Savu.
Right.
And Fiji has to pay it back, apparently, over 30 to 40 years. Yeah. So it's not free money. We just have to use it responsibly. Oh, yes, please. Dude, ChatGPT for the win. So,
hey, within go, RJ.
what's that?
No, this guy. Boleh money.
Okay, so overview of the $400 million commitment. So the program name was the Navuliku Fiji Tourism Development Fund to transform Vanuatu into a sustainable and resilient tourism hub, enhancing infrastructure, creating jobs, and promoting environmental conservation. Led by the Ministry of Tourism and Civil Aviation in collaboration with the Fiji Roads Authority, Airports Fiji Limited, and Savu Savu Town Council. So that makes sense because Airports Fiji Limited is spending a bunch of money with Pacific Building Solutions, PBS, to upgrade the Lambasa Airport. So that'll probably eat a few $1 million, and all the meetings are held in Savu Savu at the Town Council office. None of which I've been invited to, which I don't care because I'm not in tourism. But you think that you might involve key influencers, I guess literally in this case, an influencer, from the areas where you're looking to invest the money so that you can then work with them to market the changes that happen once this money is spent. Like you'd want people like me on your side. Maybe not, I don't know. I don't care if, or I'm not hurt by it, but it just would make sense to invite influencers. And maybe it's just because there's so many of us in Vanuatu, I guess. Joke. Planned investment, approximately $338.5 million, pending approval. So focus areas, tourism development, creation of a comprehensive tourism master plan, support for micro, small, and medium enterprises, community engagement, programs to involve local communities in tourism planning and benefit sharing. That would include not calling me 24 hours ahead to say that you're coming for a community awareness shenanigans. Environmental conservation, expansion of marine protected areas, sustainable land use planning, and reforestation. So
It's a lot of good money.
phase one, 61.5 million, will take until 2029, which is
Oh.
infrastructure upgrades, essential services, environmental management. Okay, that's good. Infrastructure upgrades. Okay, let's fix the roads. Let's fix the airport. Let's fix the ships. And then we can start talking about places where people will come and stay, basically.
So
And then
it's,
phase 2 and 3 is 338 million, and that's 2029 to 2033. So that's the tourism development, community engagement, environmental conservation. So
so 2029 phase 1 starts.
phase
So
1 ends.
Oh, phase 1. So
Yeah.
this is like phase 1 is going on right now.
Yeah. Phase 1 is going on right now. So this money was confirmed to be allocated in 2021. A certain amount of the money was given and is now being utilized starting 2023 and in 2029 to upgrade things like the airports, upgrade things like the jetties, which we could really use. Like Nambualu looks like the shores of Normandy after D-Day. Like it is freaking littered with craters that will swallow any hybrid if you're not paying attention while you go down to load your vehicle onto the boat. Like you will put a hole in your oil pan on that Nambualu jetty.
Right.
So maybe you could just borrow like, I don't know, $200,000 or, you know, let's make $250,000 of that 61.5 million to upgrade that, because that would be nice as like first impressions are a big deal.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it would be nice if like the first impression of people coming onto our island is like, oh, this place isn't an absolute hole and is actually decent, because actually the road after that is really nice. Yeah. I just always feel like that is the most disappointing entrance or exit to this island is the Nambualu experience. And it's actually so pretty there. Like there's no reason for it to be so bad. Like it's the most beautiful drive going down to Bua or coming up from Bua. But it's just like, guys, we need to just fix the last 200 meters of the journey or the first 200 meters of the journey. Because like, driving through Bua, beautiful. Wild horses, wild men, wild women.
Hey.
Awesome. Wild country. But the jetty just needs a little bit of filling. So, yeah.
Like I said, damn Nambualu stuck in 1945.
Yeah, there's just no reason for it either. I mean, yeah, I don't know if Nambualu will ever be a town. I hope it does for their own sake, so that they can manage themselves.
I think it should.
But
Didn't they start it?
yeah, I think there's stuff in the pipeline.
Yeah.
It's just that like they're so far away that I think that it would make sense that they're their own town. You know?
Because they
Like
have to come all the way
Seganga
to
falls
Lambas.
under Lambasa Town Council.
Yeah.
That makes sense because we're actually like 40 minutes from them, but we're not 2 hours from them, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, it just feels like your point of entry could have a lot more going on. But I think you need a ferry provider who would be a bit forward thinking, you know? With like just their services. Just not be so willy-nilly about everything, like to be thinking about, you know, so people can book with it online and or through their credit cards, and when they get on they could, you know exactly where to go, and it's very clearly guided and very comfortable. You could pay to get into certain areas, and you know, like, yeah. It will be something to think about.
Yeah,
There might even be an express boat one day
yeah.
that like somebody runs that can just take like 100 people, no vehicles.
There's a the field says since Fiji government owns part of Fiji Airways, give discount tickets for tourists from Nandi.
Yeah, so that's something that I've actually talked with the management of Fiji Airways about, is that like the way that it looks when you report like, you know, tens of millions of dollars of profit for Fiji Airways, and then we as locals see just the most expensive tickets all the time, you know, like it costs you $1,000 to fly to Taveuni, you know, one way from Nandi.
Yeah.
You can actually get a flight from Sydney to Nandi return cheaper than you can get a flight from Nandi to Taveuni.
To Taveuni.
Yeah. And that's very discouraging for people and all the hotel operators out there, right?
Yeah.
Makes it very, very difficult because the boat to get out there, you got to be a total backpacker, you know, to have like a creative or wild side, you know, like adventurous side.
Yeah.
But it's totally crippling. And it's just bad PR when you announce huge profits and then ticket prices remain where they are. And I get that you don't want to lower your prices and then have full planes and no profit. But the thing is that like we as people, dude, this frog's just coming up to we as like citizens, we look at Fiji Airways and Fiji Link as one company. And so even more now that they're going to share uniforms and they're going to look the same. So we don't really think of Fiji Airways and Fiji Link as being two separate entities, even though they are. So maybe that just needs to be more clearly, you know, stated in their PR work with their media teams and stuff like that. But it just feels offensive. And I'm saying this because I've heard it from people when we get these reports and they report, because they have to report, because the government, because our money invests in Fiji Airways, when they report huge profits and then we get boned with the prices of the tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah. It hurts. But also then don't live in Honolulu, I guess.
Hola. Bulavinaka watching from New Zealand.
Thank you.
Where in New Zealand? Where in New Zealand are you watching from?
Where in New Zealand are you watching from? What do you do for your mental health, I guess, when you're overwhelmed, stressed, or frustrated? So there's this story called The Boy, the Fox, The Boy, the Horse, the Fox, and the Mole. Did you ever watch it?
The what?
The Netflix? It's a story, but they did a cartoon on Netflix. Did you ever see it?
The boy?
The Boy, the Horse, the Fox, and the Mole.
No.
Okay. So, anyways, in the book, they get into this really bad snowstorm. Stephanie hates that I like this whole story, but it's just, there's a lot in it. And if you guys go and watch the cartoon, it's like 16 minutes long. It's very short. It's basically a YouTube video, but it's very, very well done. And there's a really bad snowstorm, and they can't see in front of them. And the boy starts to panic, and he says, like, I can't see what's in front of me. And the horse says to him, well, can you see your next step? To which the boy says, well, yes, I can. And the horse says, well, just take that. And so that rang true for me, because like when I'm overwhelmed or stressed, it's just like, okay, what's the next step? Because that's what you needed to do anyways, was take the next step. So instead of like being like, holy smokes, I have so much to do, there's so much, just take a moment, think about what's next, and just do that thing. And the physical act of just doing it and checking something off, it's like a weight off your shoulders. So For example, today I'm up in Bua on the top of this mountain in the middle of a jungle, literally. I happen to have 3G because we haven't had 3G all week out there, but we have 3G now because we're right at the top of a hill. And so I get an email from my accountant who says, hey, I need you to sign those papers so that you can get it back to me because we have to have all this paperwork submitted by the end of the month. We've asked for filing extensions just so nobody's wondering. And I'm like, oh, okay. I saw the emails come in last night, didn't do them yet. And then I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do them as soon as I get home, sent the email. And then I was like, well, or you could just do them right now on your phone. It's like, oh. So I downloaded them, put my signature, filled in the dates, sent them all off to him, and it was done. And it was like, that was the same thing that happened with Va at the coffee shop when we had to pay our health license that I was ranting to about at the beginning of this live. It was like, could have just not done it and left it for later, or I knew what I had to do. I just had to do it. And now both of those things are done and they're off my shoulders and I can do the next thing. And so I think that's the best advice that I could give for like when I'm stressed and overwhelmed is just to take the next step. Yeah.
That's good. All I was watching from Auckland. She saw
Cool.
a video of you like 2 months ago and just started from
Oh, really?
you moving back to Fiji and starting your business.
Oh, cool. Who's this?
Ola.
Hola.
Ola, yeah. Am
Hola,
I pronouncing your
hola.
name right? Ola, yeah.
Hola, hola.
What I
¿Cómo
love
estás?
the most about your ideas of starting a business in the island. I know you have business in Canada, but loving what you started and building in Fiji.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you. It has been a very long road and a very rewarding road, I
Hey,
think.
Blare, Jared.
Jared Sutherland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the book, man. It's coming now.
I
It's
think
coming.
his dad is here. Is he?
I don't think so.
No.
Well, I don't know. It hasn't got to the coffee shop yet. But thank you, Ola. Thank you for joining. Thank you for following. The reason we do this is not because we want to be famous or we are seeking some sort of attention for ourselves. It's because like there might be one person who's not even from Fiji who sees this or sees, one of the posts and just decides to take the trip or ask the girl out or to do the difficult thing that's in front of them. And some of those people will be people who are going to move to Fiji or people who are in Fiji and will move, back to the village or back to the city and start that business that they've always been thinking of starting or make that proposal and send it off to a business partner. And you just don't want to get to the end of your life and wonder what if. And I think that's a big reason behind what we're doing here, is so that we don't get to the end of our lives and wonder what if. But like we're going to give it a freaking red hot go and try it out. I'm a half-blooded Fijian. Father is Fijian, mother is Canadian. I'm registered in the Hulinkambula, but speak the language maybe to 75% fluent,
Right.
and don't have an accent, but like, it means if I can do it, then anybody can do it. And so that's just what I would like you guys to see, is that like, hey, we can go for it.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, you just don't want to get to the end and then be like, oh, I wonder what if I would have done that thing. Yeah. And yeah. In reference to what we were talking about before, there was a great thing that I ran across that Alex Hormozi said that has helped me a lot, and I've actually used it to process difficult times in my life or moments in a month or a week. And it's that when the difference between, being stressed and feeling like lost or like you don't know what to do next. And so like when you're stressed, it's because you have too many things to do, and so same thing you need to do is like organize your next steps. and that has helped me immensely because it's easy for me to identify like when I'm stressed or when I'm lost. And so sometimes when I'm lost, it's just like you just have to go and do something. And then like things will just start to happen and fall into place.
Yeah, exactly. Bula Chochi. Bula Chochi from Nailawa. Hey, Chochi Bula. Having a mix right now on the mat with the boys. Yeah. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys for joining.
Bula Udi.
There was a question on Instagram. You guys can go and ask questions still. I'm on Instagram right now looking at the questions you guys did ask. Or just throw them in the chat, actually. It's probably easier. How can you connect farm to table at a national level? At a national level. Well, I think like the markets kind of already do this already, at least in Lambasa. Like when you go to the market, there's actually parts of the market are assigned to different tikinas. So, or like, what do we say, landowning units, or like not the sub-clans, but the big clans. And so, no, that would be a Yavusa, I guess. Tikina would, it almost into, yeah, tikinas, yeah. Yeah, not yasanas, tikinas, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you can go and you can actually like buy this. All the people from Sasa are in this place. All the people from Sanganga are in this place. All the people from Sangani and that side of the Tewa Bay are in this spot. So you almost have that where you would like go and like you probably know your relatives, so they would know you, and you're buying from them to your table. So if you are marketing at a local market, it's almost already farm to table. And so I don't think that's the issue. This frog is about to...
About to come up.
No, he's about to jump off. He's just making a decision. He can't make up his mind.
Jump.
Jump. Jump.
Jump.
Yeah! At a national level, I think here's what it would look like for me. And here's what we will do one day. And I will speak about it very briefly and probably never again, is to use our social media platform to document the things that we grow on our farm and then take it straight from our farm to a grocery store that we own, and a produce section that we own, and a butcher section that has meat that comes from our land, and have it all in one spot so that you guys can watch the videos of us on the farm, or you know, anybody who's employed on the farm, and actually then go and buy that stuff and feel like you're part of the process.
Right.
And so that's just more like effective branding than anything. But I think that would be, at a national level, looks like controlling the whole supply chain from farm to the final retail process. I don't really, and that's kind of, again, that's what's happening basically in the markets, is people are taking stuff from the farm and they're selling it directly.
Yeah.
And so the only way to do that at national level, I think, like say in Suva, would be for me to have a property there and have a store, and then we actually sell. We'll make videos of us harvesting stuff, putting it in a vehicle, and offloading it, and then, oh, it's there, you can come and buy it. I think that would be a very effective.
Digital marketing.
Yeah, yeah. Great question. Great question. Corey J. Weigel. This was a guy that I met in the gym when I was, shout out to Corey, when I was in Canada, and I asked him what he did. He does some social media stuff. He's buying his first business with none of his own money. This is his journey that he's tracking on social media. And you guys can go find him. Corey, Cory, J. Weigel, Weigel. And so he's just a young guy in his early 20s or mid 20s, and he's buying a liquor store for like $750,000, something like that, with no money out of his own pocket. And so he's just documenting that process and how life has gotten to this point. And there's very creative ways to be able to get into business without using any of your own capital. And so he's using one of those ways. And so in overseas, there's a lot of people, especially baby boomers in that generation, who are looking to get out of the business, and they've been doing it for so long, they're willing to just shut operations down and sell off assets. And so if you come to them and be like, look, I will take your business off your hands and give you X amount of the profit for the next 5 to 10 years, and then we can talk about some sort of recurring revenue that you could still get after that point of the contract is finished or whatever. But in a way, you can get a business that has a full client list, that has a number, has a Google listing, has all your Yelp reviews, has all that stuff going, and not start from scratch and just use somebody else's business name, keep all the clients, and keep them in the business, and just start operating. Because otherwise, the alternative, I know people who are very successful, multi-million dollars a year businesses, they get, like some of my friends' parents, they just like, well, I don't want to do it anymore. So they just, one day they just stop. When they just give all their stuff, like all their tools away, or they sell it. It's like, dude, that's a fully operational business. That, like, I bet you if somebody would have just come up to you and be like, hey,
Buy your business.
can we do like a special financing without involving the bank? And I'll give you $2,000, every 2 weeks until a certain point, at which point it will change to like a profit sharing thing for you.
Right.
And after 10 years, you're out of the business, I'll take it over.
Take it off.
They're like, they're just going to shut it down anyways, so there's nothing to lose. Because like the alternative is having nothing, because you didn't really need it. Or some young gun who's like super like inspirational, or super like just a go-getter, comes and takes it over from you.
Hola.
So anyways, that's Corey. Where I was going with that was his question was family values. He just said that. He didn't actually ask a question. He just said family values. And I'm like, ooh. Deep.
Hola says, what amazes me most is that I'm on the same boat as I just moved back to New Zealand.
Cool.
I went back to Tonga for the last 8 years just to do farming, as growing taro, cassava, bananas, yams, other
Right on.
mains, and ship them. Here, Australia and US, so he's in Australia. I just started, so hopefully things will go well. As I've been watching your stories, it's so inspiring. I wish your family all the best.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. That's Ola.
Yeah, hola. Toko,
Thank
toko.
you. Ola.
Anything?
Anything?
Jared says,
DM us.
yeah?
No.
Says his parents are here. They flew in yesterday.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Sweet. Nice. That's awesome.
And he's asking, are there opportunities for value adding to your products to create a point of difference, as everyone seems to be jostling for market share of the same products?
Yeah, so like 100%, 100%. And like, so with cassava, I have interest in cassava right now because I feel like the market is trending towards needing more. Just everything I can see is that cassava is on the uptick, and cassava is very simple to grow. It doesn't require watering, because we Itaukei Fijians suck at maintaining vegetables. That is good for the Indo-Fijians. For whatever reason, we love planting something, then pulling it up and eating its roots. We do not like planting something and eating its fruits. Okay? Big difference between us blacks and us browns. Just, I don't know what it is, but we're not the best at looking after vegetables for whatever reason. So we all have our strengths. That's good. There's nothing to be ashamed of. We just have to like acknowledge it. And like, I've tried vegetables over and over and over again. I've tried a bunch of different stuff, and it just, you know what? Cassava, you just stick it in the right way. Just don't put it upside down, and it probably grows. And you don't have to like weed it, or you don't have to water it. You don't have to prune it. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah. So value adding though, for sure. Like, they're like the industry that I want to grow cassava for is not actually for consumption, it's for industrial uses, for its starch. And so in that case, it would be raw tonnage so that you're not grading stuff for eating. Because like they say, like the ones that you have to sell, it needs to be like from like your wrist to your forearm, and like you should not be able to like join your fingers around it. So that's like a lot of wastage. That's probably half that we would not be able to sell then. And so the key for me is like eliminating wastage and making it so that you don't have to have a difficult crop to sell. And so to try chilies, for instance, chili is very time consuming. To be able picking and filling sacks and all that stuff is very, very time consuming. Cassava, you can buy cassava harvesters. I'm about to get a cassava planter. So we have the tractor, we have all the means to be able to do this on a large scale, and we have 100 acres that we can plant. So value adding to the products, though, yes. It would be really cool to have somebody who, because I don't know, the thing about being in Vanuatu is it feels like we always need to be the experts in the thing that we're doing. And like there's nobody who comes alongside you and would be like, hey, I'd like to partner with you on this. Like, you're doing this part already, I'll do this part. And let's partner up. You know, it's like, so it'd be cool if somebody would want to do the processing side of it or something, you know? And then, or if we are planting something else, for them to do the bottling side of something, right? And use the Walker brand. Like, cause like it doesn't have to be something I produce. It could just be like collaborating on the brand side of it. Like, cause we have a strong brand. So like, why can we make virgin coconut oil or whatever it is, right? And just, hey, I'll set up the processing. Can we use the branding?
Right.
Let's set, you know, like there's so many different ways. It's just that where we are is not conducive to it. And so that's why we're here though, is because like, it's not easy. And so we're trying to make it easy, but that's not going to be an easy thing to do because we're in Vanuatu. So family values, going back to Corey,
Yeah.
can I wrote down the top things that come to my mind that like are important to us. And I think a lot of our family values just stem from like our faith. And so, yeah, I think like probably overarching would be like, you know, loving Jesus and living mission and doing that through like an outward expression of like the way that you live your life. And so whether that's not doing the thing that everybody else is doing, not using the language everybody else is using, or just being a bit different in some way. And whether that's in business or as a kid, you know, there's so many different ways to, you know, to live that kind of a life. But here's 4 things that I wrote down that just are off the top of my head, like things that are important to me and Stephanie that we teach our sons. So, number 1, honesty. Never lie. Obviously, it's about as simple as it sounds. Just always be honest. And then, like, then you're in the clear and you don't ever have anything hanging over your head. Like right now, I'm doing some work for an NGO and I have a rental vehicle, and there's a couple times where I've used it for my own stuff. Like I've taken a bag of cassava to the coffee shop, and it's like, you know what, for that, I'm just going to count that and just put $10 of my own money into the fuel. I went to Lambasa, okay, I'll put in $25 of my own money into the fuel. And like, I don't have to do that, and it could totally be, it just could come out in the wash, basically saying like, nobody would ever know the difference. But it's like, I don't want it to ever be said of me that I wasn't, you know, or that I misused something. And even if it is, I'll know the truth. And so nobody can ever come to me and tell me something that is true about myself that was dishonest. And so there's just small things like that, that it's just like, just always be honest and be more than honest. Number two, I had here protect each other. So that's one big thing for the boys that we always teach them is like always looking after each other, you always have each other's back. Don't ever leave, your brother behind. Like stick together. Like whenever if they come up to the house like without the other one, like they're in trouble. Especially if they've been told to stay together, and so protect each other. Another one that has been big now in this point of life is asking good questions, and so I think that's just a great way to become a memorable person, a memorable kid, is to be somebody who asks a question. How are you? What was the best part of your day? What do you like? What's your favorite color of ice cream? Do you like trucks or cars? Like there's simple questions you can teach your kids because asking questions makes the conversation not about them and it makes them think about something that is external to them, I guess. So asking good questions. And the last one that I have been trying to teach them forever is look a man in the eyes when you shake his hand. And so I always felt like that tells you a lot about the person that you're about to deal with. And so when you introduce yourself to somebody and you say, you shake hand, you say your name, and you look them in the eye. And so I just feel like that's a really big, it's a really easy way to be able to put a first read on somebody. And your gut instinct in that first impression will tell you, is usually something that can be trusted.
Yeah. I do never shake a man's hand while sitting down.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
And I practice that wholeheartedly.
That's a good one.
I'd stand up and shake their hand.
Yeah.
If they're working towards me, I'll stand up.
So what is the reason? What's the reason for that?
If I'm still just sitting, I guess it's just. I don't know.
If everybody's sitting hey, Bula, then you.
I'll stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get up.
Ah.
I'll get up and shake their hand.
Yeah.
And I'll sit back down.
Nice.
I don't know, respect, or I just feel like it's a rude thing. Like somebody's crouching down, shaking your hand, and you're sitting there, like, hey.
Yeah, it's better to stand up.
It's better to stand up and look them in the eye too, and
I agree.
shake their hands.
That's a good one. So those are probably the family values that I would think of off the top of my head.
Asserting dominance. This is Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny Lobo.
Yep. Drugs and consumption of drinking kava unnecessarily. Oh shoot. Well, obviously, addictive drugs are bad. Don't do drugs. We all know that. But it's easy to say, but the reason why a lot of people do drugs is because they have nothing better to do, or they're trying to cope with something and they don't have the right coping mechanism. So it's kind of on us as a matured part of the society to provide outlets for kids to, not do drugs. You can't just say, you can, but it's not very helpful just to say don't do something and then not provide an alternative of something to do then. So your kids are just roaming the streets and you say don't do drugs, but they're going to keep roaming the streets. It's kind of difficult, right? You say don't do drugs and said everybody's running training camps. Okay, well, I might go to training camps, and go be physically active or do something with somebody that's inspirational or influential or something. So, yeah. Consumption of drinking kava unnecessarily. So, there's a lot of things we do that aren't necessary, like eating 3 times a day, like scrolling Instagram and Facebook, like even drinking as much water as we probably drink. That would include having sugar in your tea, not necessary. And so me and Tui having kava tonight, not necessary. But it's when it gets in the way of something, like when you're having sugar but you have diabetes, or when you are eating heaps of processed deep fried stuff, but you're severely obese. Or when you're drinking kava and you won't eat with your family because the kava bowl is out and your friends and old guys are hanging out. So it's, to me, it's when it becomes a detriment to like other parts of your life that should be more important than drinking kava. In the same way that like having a glass of wine together or having a beer with people is problematic once it goes too far. But the actual act of doing the thing is not bad. But when it comes to the detriment to things that should be more important, then we have problems. That's my answer for that.
Oh, I think Chris is watching right now.
Chris, oh no.
Oh, babe.
Hey babe. You said babe? Hey babe, it's fun to be with you up on the mountain today, babe. Good job.
He's saying, don't worry about the fuel tomorrow. Shava can wait at my dad's place. Because need to buy the belts in the morning.
Are you sure? Okay, so I'll drop him there around 6:30. Is that okay? It's so funny that we're planning. Don't worry about the fuel. Okay, because then I can bring the fuel out the next day if you want it out the next day. Dude, just put the drum in the back of the fielder, man. A Toyota Fielder, 200-liter drum in the back. Woo. It's going good. It's going good. Let me know, 6:30 at your dad's house? Does that work?
Yeah.
Me and you, your dad's house, 6:30.
Said
Hey,
guy.
so awkward thing, huh? Said?
Mm.
So awkward thing that happened with Chris. The other day, so I find, and Chris probably doesn't know this, but Chris sounds a lot like his wife on the phone. I don't know why. You know, there's people, when they get old, and Chris is not old, he's younger than me, but there's some people that, like, the older they get, the more they look like each other. Like, I found, like, especially in white couples, like Caucasian couples back in Canada, I'm like, I don't know what happened where you guys, like, became the same person somehow. Over time, you're like, whoa, you guys look similar. But Chris and his wife, I think, were made for each other because they have a very similar voice on the phone. And it's because Chris's wife is his wife, but Chris is very, like, he's a joking kind of guy and playful on the phone. And so the other day, this is classic Fiji, okay? Chris, you're guilty of this. People always exchange SIM cards and phones and, like, now I have my wife's phone. I have my, okay, where is this? Oh, it's with him. Okay, sorry for bothering you. So somehow in the mix of things, I called Chris's phone, he picked up, and then I get a call back and it says Chris on my caller ID.
Right.
But I had entered a couple different numbers for him apparently, and his wife happened to have one of the SIM cards, and so pick up the phone. I don't know, I can't remember.
Oh, we were just leaving Siaganga.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And person on the other side of the phone. Oh yeah, I was waiting at the junction, Saivo Junction.
Right.
And I was like, hey John. And I'm like, oh, this is Chris. I'm like, for sure this is Chris. I'm like, hey babe, what's up? And there was just like silence.
Silent.
Like, Chris said he's just coming. I'm like, oh shoot. I'm like, okay. Yeah, sounds good. Okay. Hang up. And then I'm like, dude, this guy, when I see him in the canteen, he's gonna like one punch me, side punch. Like, oh shoot. Just called his wife babe. I've only met this guy for like one day. Already called his wife babe. Like, shoot. So awkward. Anyways, Chris, your wife, apologize to you guys. But now that's the running joke.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You changed the contact, right?
No, because I don't know who's... No, Chris is something 75111 something, apparently. So when I call, I just called that number. I just know it has a bunch of ones in it now. So, yeah.
It's like, I love you, babe.
You said? Love you too, babe. You're gonna grow old there, boy. like you said, the hair on the bottom of your ball gonna be white before you leave that place, boy. You get used to boy. All right, guys.
Yeah.
On that note, thank you guys for joining. My name is Jonathan. Thank you guys for discussing some of these very important topics on the live, including the color of the hair on the bottom of your scrotum. And we will talk to you guys very, very soon.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we can be here on Friday.
Yeah.
If not, we'll just do it late like this.
Yeah.
Usually we do live at 5, but if we cannot do live at 5, we'll do live at night sometime. So thank you guys for joining. My name is Jonathan. This is On the Mat. If you guys would like to sponsor one of these programs, then just let me know. And we'll catch you guys on Friday. Okay?
Yeah.
Peace.
Okay, more day.
Mode.